The Kansas State Wildcats were an embarrassed football team after suffering a humiliating defeat on national television in Nebraska. They were searching for answers, and they found them Thursday night when they turned the tables on the rival Kansas Jayhawks. Despite being victimized by the Cowboys' passing attack all afternoon long, the defensive backs weren't entirely at fault for the loss, at least not in the eyes of head coach Raheem Morris. After another lackluster performance by quarterback Carson Kaufman, Coach Snyder acknowledged in his post-game comments that something's got to give, and that might mean an open quarterback competition moving forward. In the second quarter, Williams broke off a 35-yard run that ended in an awkward tackle eerily reminiscent of his last two knee injuries. Not only are the K-State players readying for the challenge of taking on the top-ranked Blue Devils, but there is an undeniable mutual respect between Coach Martin and the legend Mike Krzyzewski.
2010 homecoming king and queen are Logan Terry and Trevor Roberts.
Not a tear in Trevor Roberts' eyes as he received his homecoming crown, not in shoulder pads, but on crutches. Roberts, a senior wide receiver on the McLeod football team, had just been released from the hospital hours earlier. The 17-year-old needed part of his leg amputated following complications during surgery on a compound fracture he had suffered in a game earlier this season.
Mixed emotions, definitely, but I was just more glad to be back than anything. Real happy. to be back home.
I just can't. I don't know the words to say to how he's reacted to this. I mean, it's just been incredible. So he's stronger than I am, that's for sure.
It was the first time Roberts saw his teammates since the surgery. Their tribute with his number and initials on their arms was just the latest gesture from a proud community rallying together.
When we first heard about Trevor's situation, we were all very grief-stricken, but it didn't take long for the gears to change. It became a question of what can we do to help. And the community and the student body has really rallied around him.
Despite his injury, Roberts' future is as bright as the lights under which he played on Friday nights.
He'll just keep pushing forward, and he will be something great someday. I mean, there's always a plan for everyone, you know that, and he is going to do something great.
He's looking forward in December being fitted for his prosthetic, and amazing things will happen, I can guarantee you, because nothing's going to hold him back.
From McLeod, Max Gershberg, 13 News. Listening to their coach's post-game comments, it would have been easy to forget that the Kansas State Wildcats had just won their game Saturday against UCF.
They played better than we did. They whipped us up front. They were more aggressive. They ran to the ball better.
Despite escaping with a 17-13 victory to go 4-0 for the first time since 2003, there was one glaring weakness that may not bode well for the Wildcats.
Instead is Weaver into the secondary again. So now Central Florida running at will.
For the third time this season, Kansas State had trouble keeping the opposition's running game in check. UCF managed a whopping 252 yards on the ground. And despite the timely defensive stops and the narrow victory, this is a trend that head coach Bill Snyder could do without.
I'm not a fan of bend but don't break. I've been involved with it too much. I'm too old for that. We need to be able to put the brakes on the other end of the field a little more frequently.
UCF quarterback Josh Godfrey took to the ground 17 times, and while another scrambling quarterback lies on the horizon in the form of Nebraska's Taylor Martinez, the Cats are hoping that Saturday was a valuable learning experience.
Some quarterbacks in the pocket and throw it all day. Some quarterbacks scramble. And we got 2 weeks in a row of scrambling quarterbacks, so we're going to try to lock them down.
Got to play our keys as a defense. Got to play our keys, and everybody got to do their job, and we got to play fast. We got to rise up to the opponents at all times.
We just have to defend those kind of things a lot better because, it opens up an invitation, quite obviously, to anybody that's got a quality running quarterback, which Nebraska does, so they'll certainly go to school on that.
For now, they're 4-0 and all is well in Manhattan, but even Coach Snyder said after Saturday's game, how far do we have left to go? Further than the eye can see. Reporting from Manhattan, Max Gershberg, 13 Sports. And welcome back. Now, last night, the Bears pulled off an impressive disappearing act. Quarterback Jake Cutler was on the field, leading the offense, and in the blink of an eye, he was gone.
Suburban A Report, brought to you by Galaxy Home Remodeling.
It was a short and sweet preseason debut for Jay. He was on the field for only 8 plays. He threw a whopping total of 2 passes. Both were hauled in by Johnny Knox. Cutler threw for a total of 47 yards and led the first-team offense to a field goal. Now, the Bears did get into the end zone when backup quarterback Caleb Haynes put up with Devin Aromashadu for a 7-yard touchdown. That's the good news. The bad news came in the form of injuries. Haney was knocked out of the game when he got crushed here between 2 defenders. He's still wearing a shoulder sling today. Safety Craig Stelz was also knocked out of the game and left Qualcomm Stadium wearing a walking boot. A rookie safety Major Wright injured his index finger, and Hunter Hillemeyer was sidelined with a foot injury. You gotta love those preseason games. And even though the team got banged up and they did lose 25-10, the players were pleased with last night's performance.
We saw some pretty good things, you know, a few mistakes that we had time to clean up. We definitely got to do some work and get better, but you know, we got a couple more weeks.
You know, each group has things that they got to work on, things that we got to get better at.
Now, we want to get your take on the Bears' first preseason action. After one preseason game, what encourages you and what concerns you the most about the Bears' play? Send your thoughts to sports@nbcchicago.com, and we'll read them tonight in Sports Sunday, beginning at 10:30. Speaking of Sports Sunday, tonight, Peggy Kaczynski goes one-on-one with Lovie Smith. We know what he's like as a coach, but what is he really like off the field? Find out tonight in Peggy's exclusive sit-down with the Bears head man. On to baseball now, and the White Sox were flying high for 2 months. But that plane, unfortunately, has landed. The Southsiders have lost 7 out of their last 10 games, including 2 out of 3 to the Tigers, entering today's contest. Now, Detroit pitcher Armando Galarraga got into it with his own catcher, Alex Avila. One likes Lady Gaga, the other prefers Justin Bieber. You get it. You see the debate got pretty heated. All right, let's get to the game. Score tied at 5 in the 6th, and Paul Konerko does what he's been doing all season. Put the S on his chest. That's a 2-run shot. It gives the Sox a 2-run lead, but it doesn't last. In the 8th frame, Johnny Damon sends one deep to the center field wall. Andrew Jones misplays it. 2-run score, and the Tigers retake the lead 8-7. To add insult to injury, these are the types of mistakes you can't be making when battling for the division. Jones drops it, another run scores, and another loss for the Sox. Sox lose 13-8. They now trail the Twins by 3 games in the Central. Now, the Cubs are wrapping up a 3-game set with the Cardinals. Lou and his crew could take the series with a win today, something a little different for the downtrodden Cubs. Derek Lee, looking like a younger version of himself, he blasts a solo shot in the first. Cubs took a 1-0 lead. Still in the first, we've seen this before. Fat Albert exits the building. That's Albert Pujols' 30th long ball of the season, and it ties the game at 1. Now to the 3rd inning, and D. Lee was at it again. He ate his Wheaties today, and the Cubs retake the lead. The Northsiders win it 9-7, and they take 2 of 3 from the Cardinals. Now, for the first time in 6 years, Tiger Woods finished out of the top 10 in back-to-back majors. Woods shot a 1/73 today. He finished the PGA Championship at 2 under par for the week. The leaders are at 11 under, and they are still on the course. Derrick Rose and Team USA playing an exhibition game against France today. Rose with the big rebound here on this play, and watch the outlet pass. Picture perfect to Rudy Gay. Team USA was rolling. They lead it by 24. Now later in the 4th quarter, nice pass to Rose, and he knows how to finish. That's the funky finger roll right there. Team USA wins their only home exhibition game, 86-55. Finally, how about some porta potty passing? This is a real training drill used by the Kansas City Chiefs. They say it helps receivers focus on the ball, although the receivers say it's hard not to focus on the smell. And that's our look at sports. Now back to you.